All right, I call the Health and Ordinance Committee meeting to order. Time is 5:31 p.m.
Three items on here, and I think at least two of them came from the beautification committee meeting, which is every month. Y'all meeting on roughly every month. Jennifer Baniel has been attending the beautification committee meetings, and they've given some recommendations like painting antique light poles. And we'll work on that in the budget, trying to get a little package together. But these are some of the other items that have come up as part of the beautification. And one of them is screening commercial areas, and I'll give you a little more detail about that. I think it's specific to vehicles and
To repair shops, I believe.
inoperative vehicles that are piled up at a repair business or a shop. Currently, the ordinance does not permit it. If somebody were to come to me and say, like, for example, what's towing building down? There was a guy doing some repair work. Got to do it inside, and there's certain conditions, and I'd have an accumulation of debris outside and all that. And he did. I mean, he followed the rules pretty good. It was pretty clean. But we have some traditional or historical locations in town that I would consider to be grandfathered. Okay? There's some on North Main, some on South Main. I think it's more the visible spots. And I think that, and Jennifer can tell you, she goes to the meetings, but I think that was more where they were a little concerned. A new business already has to do stuff. All the repairs have to be inside. And I think Jennifer probably is.
That was for the lighting, but I did the part for the inoperative vehicles. Sorry.
Once you're looking, it's already illegal to do that now. I could stop a new business now. Zoning permit would say that. But people that have been in business, auto, truck, and similar rolling stock sales and service, which is a permissible use in the business district of the town. Sales and service must be under cover, so you can't, under a tree, hoist up engine block and do all that. If the use is within 50 feet of a residential district, it must be screened according to the ordinance, but that's not the front. Those screenings are then to the sides and to the rear. Okay? That'd be for new. Okay, Planning Commission reserves the right. And remember, if somebody has to rezone something, you can always put conditions of any kind. You can, within reason, you can put a series of conditions. Hey, you can't open at a certain time, or you can't be operating all 24 hours a day, and things like that. So there's a way to put conditions on, and that could even be screening on the street side. But if it's adjacent to a residential, it already has to be screened. It's either, and we just went through this over, D. Duncanson's property down on Main Street, where it either had to be a impervious evergreen border or a fence. And if you remember, there were some big trees over there and deep got them cut down. Our guys cut them down, sadly, so we got involved in the thing. But he had to put a fence back, if you remember. And that was adjacent to a residential district. But that was a condition of his zoning for the apartments. But for example, if somebody were to go into the parcel behind Goodwill, for example, the house is actually visible if you go in there to the edge of the woods. If somebody were to go back there and put a auto repair business there, they would have to screen those sides that are adjacent to the residential district. Okay. A paved lot for all parking areas. No activity or display within 5 feet of a property line, 15,000 square feet of minimum land area, 100 square feet minimum frontage for the use, and permanently affixed letting if the use is two-sided. A permanent structure meeting the requirements of the statewide building code is required for use. Trailers are not permitted as sales offices. So there's, basically you can't do it outside. Now, North Main Street, yeah, there's a bunch of cars out there. Remember where the dairy freeze used to be? All those cars have sat there for years and years and years. So I think that the intention, correct me if I'm wrong, is that some on the beautification committee would like to find a way to require screening from the public right-of-way for existing business. We can handle the new stuff. I can win in court. I don't know if I can win in court on the grandfathered or non-conforming activities. I think that's where they're. Can I hit the highlights?
Any areas particularly that they're want to
South
address?
Main Street is a noted point. Next to community convenience. I think North Main would, where it used to be the milk producers building, here's Golden Sales, I think of another one. Those are the two that I've heard of. Was there anywhere else that was a?
Jeans, Golden Sales,
Jeans.
and Rick.
Anyway. But right now, I don't think we have the ability to go back and mandate changes without changing the ordinances or something like that, Jesse to advise, and then require historical uses to be screened from the public right away. Currently, I don't think we can make them, I'm sure.
So how, can we just take this under advisement for right now?
You don't have to act, but heads up, that is a request that was coming out of the beautification committee.
And when they're discussing things, they notice things like when people are coming into town.
Mm-hmm.
And North Main, people are coming into town that way. You know, Church Street, people are coming into town that way.
It's not the prettiest thing. I mean, a lot of inoperative vehicles ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but
It's allowed.
it's
It's allowed for them.
for the existing or.
Southside Transmission, I mean, you know, it's, those places are allowed right now to have, you know.
Because they're
their
grandfathered or non-conforming. That's the legal term. Instead of
Well-
grandfather, say non-conforming.
Some of them, they're not there to be fixed. They're just junk. They need to be towed off somewhere.
For me, at my house, yeah, I want to tow some junk off. I don't want to have it laying around the house, but other people work on vehicles and think that it's in the eye of the beholder, I promise. And,
Well, I believe too,
Mhm.
but I've talked to one of the businesses and they have
Business.
explained to me before that it's gonna cost them more money to get the mechanics clean and get everything released to be able to take it off somewhere because people have just, they
To acquire
refuse
the
to
title
pay.
and do all
Yeah,
that,
because
yeah.
they refuse to pay, they've left the vehicles there, they've abandoned them, but it would cost this business owner more money to get the mechanics clean and get them removed than, so then I think they just acquire and build up and.
So how do we go about
I think we need to
formulating a plan to
have Tessie come back to us and say, all right, here's the deal. This is what we got, Tessie.
because you gotta think about it, if you're gonna go so far as to have this beautification committee, and then we got rules in town that say your grass has gotta be cut, or, you got landlords now have fixed properties up, and I don't see why they shouldn't maybe have to
I think we
conform
need
to
to
some
sit down
type
with
of.
Tessie and say, what do we have to do in order to effectuate a screening requirement for these kinds of activities, for historical ones that have been here? I don't
We'll
know.
just take it
We've
under
read something,
advisement.
But there's been a repair shop there.
We'll just take out an advisement, get you to talk to her,
Yeah.
and then see what she recommends, and then we'll call another meeting.
Outdoor light ordinance, I think there was some concerns about lighting affecting residences from businesses in certain areas. I think the easy way to handle it is to sit down and talk to the business person, because they probably don't know that it's bothering somebody. But that was also something that came out of the beautification committee. If you remember, one of the things that we required of Mr. Donito when we did the rezoning for that parking lot over there, is that the lighting could not be offensive to the adjoining or directed towards the adjoining owners. Because it is when you got uses abutting each other, it can be a little problematic.
And that was the only thing that I was able to find in the book.
I swear, and I can't find it in the ordinances, but I thought for sure, and I told the mayor last meeting, I think that there's already something on the books, but it says signs, if any, and proposed exterior lighting with reference to any glare, traffic, safety, economic effect, and compatibility and harmony is prohibited, and with other properties in the district. I think
So
got
are we here
something.
basically today for Heritage Hall?
I think I can go talk to him. and
Yeah,
see.
would you do that? Because I don't think it's a,
But one of the members in the beautification committee he had examples of stuff in the lighting and whatnot, and how it's, how it hurts the environment, and that outside lighting should have covering over it so that it's like just shining down.
yeah, I think it's
and
probably
not
something where they
shining
can
out.
put some, edges up on those lights or whatever.
Maybe we can
Yeah.
do that, but there is something in the ordinance about outdoor lighting already, if it's affecting adjoining properties. So, we could enforce it that way, but instead of enforcement action, people at Heritage Hall are really reasonable. Talk and say, listen,
Business of the year.
Huh?
Business of the year.
let's see
Yeah,
what we
I
can
think
do.
if you go over and talk to them, they'll do whatever they need to do to, yeah.
And a lot of employees over there, we wanna try to work with them, but, I think you've already got a little something to fall back on, so before we get into enforcement action when we go talk to them.
Yeah, that'll work.
Littering, it is a problem. There's litter everywhere in town. Billy, the mayor, provided an email to us. I think Barbara may have gotten a copy of it. And talking about trash. I don't know how to stop it, other than catching people. And maybe an enforcement is how you're gonna have to stop it. But I don't know how many officers, people throw out stuff when they see a police car sitting on the side of the road. It's probably unlikely.
Yeah, but was that really needed to be put in the paper?
Yeah. Do it.
Why is that officer gonna write me a ticket?
Yeah.
They been throwing trash out too.
It's not helpful.
Not helpful at all.
Not helpful. I threw a banana peel out the window of the truck today. I feel guilty about it. That's good for the environment.
It is?
Yeah, it'll decompose next summer.
Oh, well, you take it onto your house and throw it.
I'll throw a banana peel in my yard. I don't know what to do unless, and the chief is of the opinion we need to revise the littering ordinance.
The chief
so
is
that
all
the
in it too.
enforcement can be,
He's helping the mayor too keep this thing going. The chief is helping the mayor too.
I thought, isn't it adoption of the state code?
chief is of the opinion, but I think Chelsea needs to look at it and just say, this needs to be changed, this does need to be changed. But usually, you put in the term as amended. Okay? That we'll follow
Well, what's the
Virginia
problem?
Code section as permitted by Virginia Code section 18.5.
Is the issue because the town doesn't have a code? Because that can be written under the
No,
state
I think what it
code.
is, I think what it is that our code hadn't been updated for
Well,
the
I searched,
proper state code section.
I searched state code yesterday on our website, and I typed in littering, and I typed in, I can't find anything. So I didn't know if we had something or not.
I'm certain that there's an ordinance. He may write it on the state, I don't know, but I think what the chief is saying that the town's ordinance, so there must be a local somewhere.
Yeah,
And,
maybe.
what I would like to do is just get Jesse to take a look at it.
Well,
Do a
chief
cursory
told me,
review, and if it needs to be changed, then I'll come to council and say we need to hold a public hearing and advertise public hearing change.
when I was saying something about the trash at the corner house when you come across the bridge, chief said we're already on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, junk cars over there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working on, right now.
Pretty
we're
new
working
bridge.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
on East End. There's a lot of abandoned vehicles over on East End and debris and things, so we're gonna do some cleanup.
Well, I will mention too, while we're talking about litter, in the last beautification committee, the committee discussed, possibly ward leaders, ward council people, you know, come up with days to have
A meeting.
a cleanup day.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking that myself.
Like you head up one for you, you head up one for your ward and have cleanup days, but I think that this committee and a few others are gonna try to participate in the, cleanup day, the pick up your pride, clean up your day. And then they discuss, you know, maybe council members wanna have a ward day, you know, like a Saturday in Ward A, B, and do
I'll do
cleanup
it.
days
We'll
like
provide the
that.
bags, we'll provide the vests, whatever we're gonna do to make it happen.
Because I was really thinking that, because I was calling it like a neighborhood cleanup or whatever. That's what I was thinking.
In the East End, we're gonna start putting some dump trucks out on the weekends, so people can throw stuff in the back of them, and mattresses or furniture or whatever, and start cleaning up down there, so we're gonna, move on.
But when down on Barco Road, that seems to be a hot spot for,
Barco Road.
every time you turn around, there's mattresses out there, or furniture, or something.
I've
Over there
seen,
by the welcome sign?
I've seen mattresses stay out for weeks and weeks at a time.
Man, that's us. We need to be cognizant. If stuff is sitting out by the road for us to pick up, if it's a mattress sitting for several weeks, we need to go and get that thing out.
Well, if that's been sitting there for several weeks, we need to find out who set it out there first.
If it's legal.
Is it really?
They need to call, but you don't ever know when the truck coming though.
Yeah, but,
You don't know when the truck's coming.
but if people would call and say, hey, I'm cleaning out my house this weekend, I'm gonna throw mattresses out, let us
We'll
know.
put a truck in their yard.
So, you know, we'll put a
Exactly.
truck
It's
in
a
their
lot
yard.
easier for us to do that.
Or let us know, hey, you know, I just put some debris out at the yard, can you let the town
We
know?
do an adopter truck. Somebody calls in. Now, we only have a couple, three of them, and probably fewer right now simply because we got snow equipment on some of the dump trucks, but, they'll be pulling some of that stuff off. And
I tell you, somebody over on Luke Street used to put one out, look like, every week.
All the time.
It is just so nasty. I mean, why would you put that out there? to let somebody know you've been sleeping on something like that.
But we shouldn't, Ricky should make
I
a,
mean,
he
I
should
mean,
be
it's
able to make a
nasty.
pass at least every
Yeah.
couple, 3 days around town to make sure that there's not mattresses. And if we see them, we will try to make a special exception.
Well, do you have a policy with them not to touch that, let them pick it up with a mattress or box
Well,
spring?
I
think
don't know if
that's
it's a
why Ricky
policy,
does
but
it.
they're reluctant to get bug boats, and so
I would have
we
that
try
claw
to.
pick it
use
up,
that
I wouldn't
claw.
touch it.
We try to do that now. I think that they probably had to pick up a couch or two here and there, because I see them in the back of the pickup sometimes. But for the most part, the garbage men, they ain't grooving on picking that
I
stuff up
don't
anyway.
blame 'em.
And I try not to absolutely force them. And, so, cleaning up stuff, we've got a picker. We will, so you know, we will pick up just about anything, except we cannot pick up construction debris. Okay?
Building materials.
Building materials, okay? Because building materials without a clean asbestos certificate are a no-no at the county landfill, okay? So for example, on High Street, at the corner of Man and High, there's a guy in there renovating an old house. The siding is all asbestos shingles, okay? And there's 2 big piles of building materials, sheet rock and insulation stuff laying by the road. We can't pick it up. Now, DW
Has
says
he been
go-
notified that we can't pick it up, so
Yeah,
he
I went
needs to
to
get
him.
rid
He
of
was
it?
in there working the other day. I said, dude, you gotta get this stuff up yourself. And Nora did the same thing, because she had started working on the house. And we told her, Nora, you gotta clean this up, we can't get it. So, can't take building materials, and it's not because of town, but because of the potential for asbestos contamination and materials at the landfill.
Well, it might not hurt to put a public notice out there just to reinforce that.
Please don't do it, yeah.
Yeah.
And, needless to say, debris that has an asbestos certificate of clearance, that can go in landfill all day long. But most of this stuff is just, somebody working on a house throwing it out by the road. And, so we told them, man, you gotta clean it up yourself. So, last item on cleaning up, we have a home on Fall Street, 2 homes on Fall Street that really have, been kind of a headache for the town for many, many years. And they get cleaned up, and then they go right back, and they get cleaned up, and they go right back. So, they're a mess again. So, we have Jennifer served, the property owner with notice, 30 days, 60 days, 30 days.
Well, she signed it and Tessie is gonna she's drawing up the date
Okay.
for that.
So she signed receipt of this letter telling her that her yard is in violation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And if she doesn't have it cleaned up by a certain time, then we gotta go back to court. And we took her to court not too long ago, but the judge, Tessie asked me what I wanted to do, and I said I want her to clean it up. Barbara and I helped clean it up one time, and it didn't go very smooth. It was kind of an unpleasant process. So I said, no, I don't want to commit the town to clean it up right now. I want them to clean it up. Well, the judge did not order them to clean it up. He fined them for the yard being messy, but he did not give an order saying, you guys.
Was that just a mistake on his part, or he?
No, I think he intentionally, I think he understood that,
He remembered from the years past,
I don't think he wanted to put an order that he knew was going to be violated.
Well, that's not his, he's supposed to put the order in, and if he lived next to it, he would want it cleaned up.
Well,
And
think
he probably would have thrown him in jail
well,
because
he's
that's what I would
certainly
have told him.
willing to let the town go clean it up.
Maybe you should
but
let
we
Barbara
gotta
go to
through
court
the
with you.
process. Huh?
Maybe you should let Barbara go to court with you.
See what?
And you want me to go to jail?
No, I do not.
Attempt, but I think the next step is that I have low confidence that it's gonna be cleaned up voluntarily.
How much did she put on the last time you put the truck over there? 3 pieces?
Yeah, I just put a dump truck over there for her grandson.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm gonna clean it up. We put the dump truck over there, and I think he threw a lamp out, but
I know it was sitting down there for 3 or 4 days.
it
I
was
said, well, why?
raining and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
They're all of them are hoarders though.
It appears it's,
It's kind of sad, you know.
it's not the happiest situation, but, or we'd be going back to court and getting a warrant to, or an order from the judge that we could enter the property.
So who are you gonna get to clean it up?
I'd probably get the town's forces to do it, because it's less expensive, because I really don't think we'll ever get paid back for it. It's not like they're gonna give us $700 or $500. If anything, we put a lien on the property and let them make payments. And they, from, gosh, like in 2010, the town cleaned it up, and they had made some small payments. I'm not saying they never paid. I think they made some, I can't say big payment, but 10s and 20s at a time.
well, didn't you say they cleaned it up years ago too, and they're still paying on that?
That's what I'm talking about. They were still paying on it.
But that was for us, wasn't it? 'Cause we
It was,
came in-
the town did it before you and I were
Yeah.
here. And we did it, if you remember when we did the Fall Street cleanup project 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we worked over there.
Blacks on Baptist did it.
The last time was a
Couple
volunteer
years.
thing with the Baptist church, and it didn't go very good. People were giving folks a hard time.
They did a nice job though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they really
It's
cleaned it up. But it didn't stay cleaned up long. It's a sad thing though.
I see you looking around.
No,
I just, when she chews a gun, does that way.
All right, I don't have anything else unless you guys have something, but we're reacting to some requests. I'll get Chelsea cooking on a couple things, and I'll go see her at the shop.
That'd be fine.
All good?
what time is it? We'll adjourn.
We'll adjourn this meeting at 5:52 p.m.